I'm telling you, man. Ba-da-ba-ba.
Hey fam, welcome back to yet another episode of I'm Telling You.
I'm telling you.
Bing Crosby's in the house and I love it. I'm Philly D.
Mr. Gemini.
Clickety clack, a fact check, a missjd.
Yeah, and as always, we love starting our program by please reach out to us because we want you to continue the conversation. That's what we're here for. You know, we don't do interviews, we do conversations. We're giving it to you because we want to inspire you to have those. So, you know, please reach out to us. Let's continue it. Let's start something. You know, tell us what you like, what you want more of, any and all of it. Just reach out to us. But yeah, we have the humans. That's where you're going to get all three of us. THEHUMANS at itystudios.com. Yeah, as well as we still have all of our individuals, Gemini.
GEMINI at itystudios.com.
Bleep, blorp, bleep.
Bleep, blorp, bleep.
Philly D, PHI, at itystudios.com. As well as
MISSJD at itystudios.com.
Did you forget how to spell Miss JD?
I'm not going to lie. I had to think about it for a second.
It's the first half of Mississippi. Come on, you know this.
Well, I was like, wait, what am I spelling at this moment?
Yeah, as well as we got a shout out to the sponsors. As always, roundguysbrewery.com. They have been the unofficial sponsor. They are now the actual sponsor, but they have beers, they have sodas, they have seltzers, they ship. If you do a QR code, which most of the time they do, it'll pay for the shipping, which means you're just paying for the product. They're going to send it to you. You know what I mean? that's, roundguysbrewery.com. They'll tell you what the flavors are, what the taste of those flavors are. So they got tons of styles, tons of things. And QR codes and all that kind of good stuff. I'm going to crack one of them now. We're talking about it. Yeah. roundguysbrewery.com. Check them out. They are awesome. They are amazing. And if you're local in the Montgomery County area or Philly or any of them, check them out, man. roundguysbrewery.com. They are amazing. But for first time listeners, this is a 30-year plus friendship of me and this guy over here doing dad jokes, movie quotes, but we talk to anyone, everyone about everything. Yeah, in a loving, accepting, open-minded manner, and we love getting people on. We don't care if you're an actor, musician, friend, family, the person down the street, whatever else. But we do love getting guests in the house, which tonight, no exception. Come on, you know us. That's how we do. We have an amazing guest. If you would love to introduce yourself.
Yes, hi. I am Markeeta, and I'm just going to spell because everyone else was spelling. MarkeetaSpeaks.com. That's where you guys can find me. I'm Markeeta, speaker, author, coach, entrepreneur, and excited to be here talking to these fellas.
Dude, and I love that you said entrepreneur, because I think there's to me, the statement entrepreneur really does encompass a larger, overall aspect of what you're doing. Cause you're talking about, you have multiple businesses. You're a life coach. You're a mom, you're, a community member. You're doing all these things. To me, an entrepreneur is like, you got to be on that level. You got to have your hand in a bunch of pots, and you got to be there to educate, support your community, and set that example. So, I love that you use that word.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. I like to say that everything I do, I look at it from an entrepreneurial perspective, both in my professional and personal life.
Okay. Now, what do you mean by that? Like specifically, like what's the big thing you're trying to get from that?
So structure.
Okay.
As far as time management, even my
being
relationships
organized
is like a business.
But they're all relationships.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you're getting the appropriate amount of time and attention. And that includes yourself.
Absolutely.
So whether that's making money, being a good person, being a part of, you have to organize.
Absolutely.
I think if the one thing I find most congruent through most, air quotes, celebrities, popular people, things that like individuals that are like doing it. Everybody's like, oh my God, they all say the same thing: structure and passion.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be consistent, but you also have to give a crap.
Yep. When I speak, I say you need will, you need effort, you need consistency, discipline, and structure. But most importantly, you need consistency. But if you fall short, discipline needs to kick in. That's how you utilize discipline.
I like that. Well, because so have you ever read the book, The Four Agreements?
Absolutely.
Oh yes,
Absolutely.
So that's why I love the fourth agreement, the final agreement. It's like all these other things are like, oh my gosh, like it's this, it's that, it's that. It's like you have to have the mentality and everything else. Last agreement is just do your best always. So it's like, dude, you know what? Some days you're going to be good. Some days you're going to be,
that's the glue.
But you, as long as you're giving it what you got when you can, that's, that's that passion, like you said, the will. And then when you're not, it's like, all right, go back and do a little bit more discipline. It's like
the
structure
will
yourself.
is in your mind. We all have thoughts. The will comes out in the forms of, oh, I had that idea, right? But you got to get it from the will to the effort. You got to get it out your mind and onto paper or in motion. That's the effort. But everybody gets stuck with the will to want to do something. We all want to do something. We all do. We all have a dream. We all want to do something, but you need effort. So it has to come out of here. So it's more like, I tell them that sight is what you see. But when you come to me, I give you insight so that you can see with your mind. Dude, the sight is how you see with your eyes.
She's a wordsmith. I like that.
Well, we're getting with the coaching. Yes, that's what I do. I play on words.
But that makes it, to me, that's the art of it.
Right.
Because
because if you want to know the universe, you got to know the U inverse.
Right.
That was that other guy I've been following lately.
Not Dr. Joe Dispenza.
The guy that just did another trip to Egypt. He did it in like Robert.
Is he like Australian or whatever? The dude with the accent. Yeah, man, I feel like he has an accent. He has an accent. I don't know. I feel like everybody's got an accent. It's just whether or not it's
archaeologist.
The archaeologist. I love that.
Well, I guess he doesn't like to go by any particular name
but yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Now I have to think about what his name is.
But why? No, you're the fact checker. You don't think, you look it up. That's
I have like a million of his videos saved.
Then go look one of them up.
That's what I'm doing.
We had friends on the one time, and she's like we're all talking about something. She's like, yeah, it's this or that. I mean, I think so. And we all kind of like look at each other, look at her like, you think so?
Robert Edward Grant was the guy. That's the U inverse.
Grant, yeah.
Okay. Which is different than Graham Hancock. That's not
Graham Hancock.
There's still GRA, but it's not the.
But I do like him too. I like some Graham.
I like graham crackers, especially when there's chocolate and marshmallows and you heat it all together.
I don't like graham crackers.
I do. By themselves are, graham
They're
crackers.
still delicious, though.
By themselves? No.
I used to only like the ones with the cinnamon on top. The cinnamon and sugar.
Well, but see, to me, it's the same thing as like an Oreo, man. When you take the Oreo apart, like the chocolate's good, the cream's good, it's like they're okay by themselves. You put them together, and you're just like, yo,
right?
That's a cookie.
Wait, how'd that go?
What the yo?
Yeah,
But bro, that's like, come on, man.
That's Milk's favorite cookie right there.
No. I'll be honest. All right, so you know what? I when Oreo came out with the fudge covered. What I would do was like bite just a little bit off the top of it. So I take like a little half moon chunk out, and then I dip the whole cookie into the milk, because now you got that fudge coating that all the milk would just like soak into it. And now you got like a little cookie cup. And all that stuff on the inside is just like all gooey, but it's still got that crunch on the outside. Oh man.
I hope that doesn't happen after midnight.
No, that's
it's like a bunch of people sat around and go, how do we make an Oreo even worse for you?
Yes.
Worse. I say we deep fry it. No, that's that Oreo cookie with the milk, because you're doing the whole milk, vitamin D, you're getting all that stuff, man. That's like, it's good for the soul.
What is it about Southerners too? They just want to fry everything.
I'll be honest. I don't even think it's like Southerners. I think it's just like people are just like, deep fried sounds good right now.
How about a Twinkie? How about a deep fried Twinkie?
You ever seen a deep fried Twinkie? No.
They're deep frying
Snickers. Deep fry a Snicker.
I think they did like freaking sticks of butter, donuts.
Yeah.
Wait, that was the Homer special, wasn't it?
The what?
It was like a breaded stick of butter, deep fried.
Something like that. Yeah, I think so.
I think like Wisconsin or somewhere out there, like that's their specialty.
I love her. Dude, your face is
like sour milk right there.
I just came back from Atlanta and had fried salmon. And then they're like, you haven't had fried salmon? No, I didn't know that you guys are frying up all of this stuff like
they
this.
Fry everything.
I've never heard of fried salmon either.
It was good though, but
I mean, like battered or just like straight up? Like they just like took
no, it was
salmon
like
and
battered.
Just like, okay.
It was. I've never
like you do haddock,
like fish and chips. Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, you haven't heard of fried salmon? Like I don't. Oh.
They probably do like fried crawfish and everything.
Fried okra.
Why would you fry okra?
Okra.
Oh, okra. Bro. Sorry about that.
Bro.
I do like fried okra.
Dope Southern people in my mind. I'm like, I know Oprah. She was in Rouge. She's awesome. Oh, okra. Oh, man. Got me all excited now. I was like, I almost look under my seat. No, there ain't nothing there. Damn it. I was kidding.
Bro.
You get a car. You get a car. You don't. You get a car. It's like, wait a minute. What? No. Yeah. Well, so, I mean, being a motivational speaker, like a life coach, if you have one, who's your like greatest influence? Like, who's the one person you're just like, yo, I dig their style. I dig their vernacular. Like, there's somebody who you can almost like look up to in a sense and kind of like almost, picture yourself being without actually being it. Like, just like really good influence. I mean, do you have one or?
So I have two.
Ooh.
I have a male and a female. So
I like the balance.
I do too.
No, yeah.
I do too. One of the things I learned, I'm going to say 2 years ago, I really didn't think that people needed a coach or a life coach. Now, current day, I'm trying to figure out why I ever thought that. So
because that was your mentality at the time. It had to be to bring you to your spot that you're at now. So yeah.
But when you think of like parent-child, right? The parent teaches the child to be where they need to be. Then when you get to what we consider where they should be, 18, and if they're cutting up, 15. I done sent some to the dad at 14 and one at 15. But when we get them to where they want to be, then we just let them go.
Yeah.
You still need direction. And it can't always be the best friend or mom, because maybe mom might have only went to high school, or maybe mom might be a teacher, but you want to be a swimmer or you want to work in instruments. Mom can't guide you. So you need to find somebody that has the blueprint for the direction where you want to go. So just in understanding that component, why you need a coach, Yeah,
because it doesn't matter what it is. Like, dude, if you're doing sports, career, or anything, you need that mentor, that coach.
You need a mentor.
Absolutely.
So now I understand that. So I found mine's a year ago. Her name is Dr. Sonia. She's a 10-figure millionaire. That matters because your mentor is going to be someone that can teach you what she knows, right? So everyone's like, 6 figures and I'm already making that. So that sounds good. But I would like to make 7, but I see a lot of people are making 7. I feel like being a millionaire is the new norm.
I mean, honestly, with inflation and everything else, nice. Kind of,
yes. But that's the new norm, being a millionaire.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to go past that. So I found a mentor, Dr. Sonia Stribling. Shout out to her. She's in Atlanta. Just celebrated being 52 years young and just purchasing a 33,000 square feet estate. It's a lot for me to look up to, and I'm definitely trying to
a lot of space.
Surpass her. It is.
I like the fact that it was 33, bro. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just feel like I don't need that much space.
I mean, it depends.
I look around my house and I'm like, I want to downsize. It's too much to deal with.
But you're just talking about having house. Yes, you're not talking about like life or like build an empire from it.
Yeah, and I don't think from that perspective of like I need a staff here to maintain, and I'm not even on that level. Like
I don't want to have to make my breakfast.
Is minimalist because I heard you say that when we came.
I want a tiny house.
I don't want a tiny house.
But listen, I met some lady, and this lady she makes very good money. She's a client of mine. She said that she got rid of her apartment and everything else, and now she's sleeping out of her car because it was becoming to be too much. And so I was like, oh my God, you're homeless. She said, no, I'm a minimalist. I said, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know they're changing words to this. I didn't know.
Well, so that was the joke back in the day with Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live. He's like, if you don't get your life together, you're going to live in a van down by the river. Now people are like, know what?
Sounds kind of nice. I don't know.
I kind of want to live in a van down by the river.
And waterfront property.
On social media, and people are really following and supporting her on this movement. I just thought that was so decent. And I'm like, wow, this is a minimalist.
But I mean, maybe not a car, but like, like a converted bread truck or some shit. Well, like you got a little cot in the back, like a little tiny stove, like.
Well, see,
you have to do your business outside, but
that's not.
So like half of an RV.
I don't know.
You got a place to sleep. You can have a meal in there.
No, I'm gonna poop in privacy, bro. That's just how that happens. I don't.
So
you gotta let go of that, man.
Yeah, you go behind a big tree.
No, dude, she has a gym membership, Planet Fitness. They have the showers.
There you go. You're all set.
That's where she goes and uses it. I thought that was excellent. I guess that's what a minimalist does. They know how to.
Well, then you're paying a membership basically for a maintained bathroom to make sure that because you don't want to shower on like a campsite.
Well, see,
and they're everywhere.
Yes, exactly. Right. You can go anywhere, right?
And you can get a friend in with you. Hey, well, we're just here for the showers. It's fine.
It could be a couple.
But see, that to me, the idea of like minimalist isn't like, oh, I'm going to live in my car. To me, a minimalist is I'm going to utilize all of my resources to the most efficient manner. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's your monies, your assets, like all of it. So to me, minimalism is like, oh, I'm going to live in a tiny house. I'm going to ride a bike to school, or work no, to me, minimalist means it's like, all right, so this is where I'm at in life. This is what I'm doing. Do I need a car? Yes or no? Do I need transportation? Okay, cool.
Live within your means.
I think
that's one thing that always cracked me up. It's like, people want to point to like, yo, I got a Mercedes, but then you see the Mercedes is parked in front of a brownstone. It's like, well, where's your priorities? It's like, is that really important to have, a $300 pair of sneakers?
Or the people that travel with Gucci luggage, but you're in seat 39.
Because for real, like super rich people, they don't care. Yeah. They wear like the same sweatpants and t-shirt every day. They don't really care.
They really don't.
Dude, like Adam Sandler, more times than not, dude, like legit, you see him out.
Oversized white tee.
Dude, he's wearing sweats and he's a straight New York kid in
gym
that
shorts,
sense.
T-shirt. All the way.
Well, because one, it's, most are like, oh, it's because he can get away with it because he's got money. No, he don't give a shit.
But also you have to think where he was born and raised. Like I grew up in that area. We dress for comfort, not for style. So it's like if something's not comfortable on me, I don't care how good it looks. I'm not gonna
all about that though. I mean, I could rock a suit, but I don't have to right now.
Right, exactly.
I mean, anybody looks good in something tailored. Let's be honest. You got the right tailor.
It does.
I got sweat to the t-shirt. Like,
it does make a difference.
Good. Like it just, yeah, man. Tailored is the thing. But so I mean, we were talking about Warren Buffett before. Warren Buffett, because of all the different companies and things that he's doing and into, he gets a lot of like company perks. So there's like, company jets, company cars, expense accounts, this, that, and
you were saying he could live off like 100K.
No, it's not problem. He does. He legit his budget for the year is $100,000, but he's been in the same house for like almost 40 or 60 years or something. So it's paid for and like
drives that Volvo.
Cause
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But, and some would look at it and be like, oh, it's because he can't. No, it's because that's his mentality.
Right. And that's so important.
Dude,
he passed that logic down.
Dude, he still does.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. And he gives it for free.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there's books and whatever else if you want that like really in-depth pertinent knowledge or whatever. But for the most part, he's just like, here you go. Yeah. It's that easy to get a hold of. And that's why one of my bigger things as far as like a judgment component on like, are you truly good for your community?
Right.
Cool. What are you doing? Oh, that's dope. You charging for that? Because granted, you got bills, like you got to pay your bills, like you got to make some money, but there's some people that it doesn't matter how minuscule what they're doing or how big it is, they're going to charge you like
and that's
crazy.
The thing, like I can't wrong you for trying to make a living off of this, but then are you really going to play the hero type when come on, let's be honest. Like
when you're talking
this
about
is lying in your pockets right now.
Right. Because when you're talking about the betterment of your community, causing, an even further divide financially in that regard, all you're doing is just squashing them down. I mean, to me, that's like a control aspect. I mean, that goes into the idea of like fascism or something. You're just perpetuating the cycle. I mean, yeah, you're like, oh, but it's capitalism. It's just how we work.
We're giving back. What were you saying about like Nick Cannon? Nick Cannon.
Yeah, Nick Cannon.
Where he takes classes with inmates. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Within Howard University, I believe it is. He does
that's his way of
some
giving
of
back.
his classes with the inmates.
Well, because he's not even literally giving anything. Then he's just,
he's giving of himself.
He's doing his thing. All he's doing is setting the example. Yeah. I think that's the bigger thing, is setting the example.
In the coaching industry, we learn and teach that we are all responsible for 10,000 individuals. You, me, everyone. Whether you can make money off of it is something different, but you're responsible for the embetterment of 10,000 individuals. I'm quite sure you have done that, because you have the platform to be able to do that.
I'd like to think so, but even if it was just one, that's where we started this. This was a way, I don't know, I can't exactly speak to like why you began everything yourself, but like the reason why I kind of jumped into this was I was starting to have my own personal issues with everything during lockdown. And I was really, this was a way for me to like see a light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. Like it was something that I could hold on to.
Absolutely. I get it.
And it was just for the two of us. Like we didn't plan on releasing any of this stuff at first. And everything just kind of snowballed.
It wasn't that we didn't play. He wouldn't let me. He's like,
and look at where you are. You know what I mean?
200 episodes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, 2.5 years.
I'm almost positive you guys have made 10K or more. You've hit your mark. You should feel good that you guys have made your mark. Your footprint has been made, and more people need to step up.
Yeah, well, and that's, going back to the statement I just said, example. To me, the whole purpose behind this, that's why we were saying earlier, like, hey, we want you to continue that conversation. To us, this is the free thing. Like, this is us, we're setting that example. That's our gift, is like, hey man, we know that having conversations of this nature makes us better people, individually and as a collective. We're just trying to show you that. And, hey, if that works for you, cool. Take us as an example and do your own thing. Like, don't do what we did. Just see what we did, what effect we had. Like, just take that and then, do your own thing. Like, just
for real though,
try to inspire.
Like, I realized, and I was telling you this, that like, I always thought of myself more as an introvert, and that I was an island. I didn't really need a whole village of people. And when lockdown hit, like, I went through like this trauma, because I didn't realize that connection to people, just going to a different spot and doing my job throughout the day, I didn't realize, and everything was at that paradigm shift where everybody was being forced to work from home. And I was like, I was losing my mind. I was like, I can't do this.
Right.
I was like, this is my safe space. I can't turn this into my workspace.
Right. Because you were also trying to be a parent at the same time, especially during that specific time period, because the kids were at home too. So now you're trying to be a dad while being...
And a teacher's assistant. Like, this is not my job. Like, I don't get paid for this.
You kind of did.
No, but I'm saying like there was, and like everybody just took it on the chin, but it's like, no, this is why I pay my taxes. It's not my job to educate my kids. Like, that's why I send you somewhere every day. They left
us with no resources at all. And there are still people that are struggling till this day.
And people stepped up to the challenge. But at the same time, it's like, and then, I don't even have to get into all the psychological stuff that went on with, and then, it's like, no, but it's like, then I'm at the mercy of my own education system at that point, and the education system that I'm tied to with my children. And it's like, you could really start to see the failures.
Yes.
Left and right. And then teachers realizing that, I'm work from home now. I don't have to be responsible 24/7. Just if you need me, just reach out. And it's like, dude, I can't have that. Like, this needs to be, you know what I mean?
The first thing,
and then some of the other stuff that was coming out, and like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like some of the other stuff that was coming out, it's like, then they actually asked my kids to start taking pictures of their workspace. And I'm like, this is my house. I was like, you can tell your teacher, and I'll sign something if you want. You can tell your teacher there ain't no way you're taking pictures of my house.
Well, the first thing I said is, I'm not a teacher. That's the first thing I said, like, when they wanted us. I'm like, well, wait, am I assistant or am I teaching?
And they want to throw new math at us.
Yes.
And I'm like,
first of all, I graduate. I don't know none of this. You know what I mean? None of this stuff like this. I just want to assist with the homework. Once it's taught to you, then let me try to figure out how we can get the answer. So that was already a struggle. But the schoolwork had to be done within the school hours. But I got to work from home. That work has to be done within the school hours. Then the house is a mess because the kids are home. But that all has to be. I'm trying to figure out how.
There's no downtime.
Yes. What the heck? I was like, no.
And that was for me. Like, I couldn't express that. And like, I had I think she kind of understands it more now. But like, My wife didn't get that. She was like, I wish I could work from home because of her job and everything. She's like, I can't do that. And I'm like, but look, I never wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, see it from my perspective. It's like, now I got to wear 3 hats throughout the day.
Yes.
And like, I get stressed enough just wearing one at a time.
Yep.
You know, and I'm like, that's kind of where this all started from, is that like, that all fell apart. 25 years I worked for the same company. 25 years, I was locked in. I had, you know, I had everything, all 401k, I had the stocks, all that stuff. But it was soul draining enough as it is going to the job.
Right.
But then when it was like I was forced to work from home, I was like, I can't do this.
Yep.
And then to top it all off, I spent the last year and a half trying to train India how to do my job.
Wow.
And they just wanted, and I'm like, I won't name the company while we're talking, but
yeah, it's not a joke.
But the expectation,
it's not a joke.
The expectation, if I was going to stay on, was like everybody was saying, challenge yourself. So that's basically like, you know, we're not going to pay you anymore, but we need you to put on more hats now because now, and basically what I was reading between the lines is, maybe India's not working so well, but we need somebody to intermediate.
Yeah.
So you know the work.
You just sound
and
like
you've now
Adam Sandler.
And you've now trained this staff. We just need you to stay on and just keep pushing at this, and you'll be the stateside help. So you not only that, so it's like you got more pressure. You have to gain more knowledge base of what you're doing, but now you only get to handle this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everything that falls out is now in your lap, and you have to try and see through someone's eyes that can only work through soap notes.
Yep.
And what's the term? The standard operating procedures, SOPs.
SOP. Oh God, I hate that.
And it's like
SOP sucks.
There's nothing against the company that or India or anything, but it was like the company that took these people on. It was like this multinational company. This is what they did. They would go to other corporations and they'd try to swallow up sections of their business and try to do it for pennies.
It's not a sustainable work model.
No, but it is.
But the problem is they're under so much pressure as a company, having all these people represent them, that they won't let anybody color outside the lines. So everybody's afraid to take a step, and it's like nobody could think for themselves at all. So like every little scenario there would be an adjustment. It's like you had to step in and go, okay, now we have to write a workaround. So and every time you see this, then contact this person or this person if you don't know how to fill out this form. And, you know, and it was like, it got to be such a rigmarole. I was like, I saw the department that I was in starting to dwindle, and I had plenty of time to jump ship. And I even had a couple people that were saying, hey, why don't you post for this position or that position? And I just kind of let it fizzle out. Until I remember it was the funniest thing that I got a call from like basically my boss's boss and their boss all in the same room on a phone call. Mm-hmm. I'm at home watching my kids. And I'm like, we're really sorry to tell you. Yeah, we're going to cut you. And I'm like, yes.
Your severance package?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Which was funny because they were actually coming around to anybody who, I don't know how they figured this out, but probably based on your tenure, like how long you'd been there. Because basically the longer you are at a corporation, the more they owe you.
Right.
You got regardless all the mathematical models, bro.
Yeah. So regardless of what I had the option that I could have taken a package before then. But had I done that, I would have been it would have been voluntary, which means I would have gotten whatever the package they'd offered me, which was pretty much the same as what I did get. But then I wouldn't get any unemployment. Yeah, and then I didn't realize at the time that PA Fs you because they look at all your savings, your 401k, like all the stuff that I consider retirement, and they look at that as income. So for 6 months, I didn't get paid any unemployment, even though I was putting in for it.
They don't see it as income. They see it as viable. They see it as a viable finance. So basically, it's like, well, why do you need this when you already have this?
No, that's for tomorrow. That's not for today.
That's
for when I'm not here.
Correct. Well, yeah, that's what they look into. It's like, well, that's what that's there for. I mean, you're not technically retired, but I mean, that's you.
Yeah, no, it's not though.
You get faulted for planning.
That's the thing. Like, I was pissed off about that and I only ended up collecting for 6 months, and I've been working for 25 years at the same company. To me, it's like those weren't entitlements,
right?
Like I ate S for 25 years, being a corporate stooge,
Right.
So I could collect that money.
Right.
That was my money.
Right. I'm with you 100%.
Sorry, this is just me being mad at PA.
No, but dude,
The audacity, though.
But and I mean, to me, like that's the bigger thing is like a lot of this stuff is really written that, you know, if you're in this higher level, you could care less, so it doesn't matter. And if you're in that lower level, well, you could care less because you get all of anything. It's us in the middle that, you know, haven't quite made it, but we're on our way. That just we're the ones that are paying most of the taxes too, and we're the ones that are getting screwed out of it. It's just like what. You know, I mean, we're literally the backbone of this country. We are the working class, even though we're not like physical labor, but it's still a working class. And we're out here busting our humps, doing all these things.
We're still playing checkers, though.
Yeah, but we're playing by the rules.
All the big boys are playing chess. We're playing checkers.
Yeah, and we're being good citizens. We're being good homemakers, you know, good parents. Like we're doing everything we're supposed to be. And then everything outside of us is just like, it doesn't pay to be good anymore.
It doesn't.
I say it often.
I say it often.
Should.
That's why I ain't rich.
Not yet. We're getting there, baby. We're getting there.
I am rich, though. I am rich, you know. But I'm just saying. But
that's no. It's the conversation of what your vernacular is.
Nice guys finish last.
No, we don't.
I just recently had a conversation.
As long as I get to finish.
This year started. I said that I feel like if you're just currently, I don't think I felt like this years ago, but now if you really want to get money, you need to lose your morals.
If you want to be,
that's deep. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if you want to, I'll be air quotes. If you want to be rich. You have to at least not so much lose, but you at least got to, sweep a couple under the rug.
About like, being on OnlyFans or anything, but just anything ethically or morally.
That's a really good point. Cause I mean, a lot of the people that went to like OnlyFans aren't exactly immoral.
Right.
They have a positive business model. They're giving you a good service that's
it's just not traditional how we're used to.
Right.
So it's the people that get over that hump, they seem to be winning. But if I'm like, no, I just, no.
Because, I'm not trying to take a massive chunk.
For life, though, I mean, that's any means necessary is a dangerous road to travel down. I mean, our forefathers knew that. The people that put this country together were rebels.
Road least less traveled.
And I think we always forget that. The people that put this together were rebels.
Yeah, they were. Dude, they were smoking hemp. They were leaders.
They were making beer.
They were smoking. They weren't, consuming cannabis. They were literally smoking hemp, drinking beers, doing whiskey, but they were leaders of the industry. They were changing. They were doing standards.
The thing is, though, they were knowledgeable in every aspect of life, and that's the thing I think that's changed so much. It's like you look at Congress members now, and it's like. You join Congress, that's like a job for life. But like these people, that's not how this started.
No, it's not supposed
These
to be.
These people all had their own businesses. They had skin in the game to begin with.
I like the fact that
they had a household and a business to support that they had to go back to when they were done serving their time in Congress.
And that's why I love that it took us like a year and a half of talking George Washington into being our president. He was like, fine, I'll do it, but only for a little bit and then I'm done.
Right. Like they wanted to king him.
Yeah, we literally had to badger him into being our
crown
leader.
Him.
And he's like,
but he served.
You're missing the point. Like
he served, and we were like, "Why don't you go again?" And he's like, "No, bro. No, I got to pass this on. It's not a crown. It's a baton.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But dude, new blood, fresh. See, this is why I love Dr. E.T. Like one of my favorite sayings from him is the only thing that's permanent is change.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what you're doing, how you're doing it. The fact that we are like living in a construct that's built around the idea of time and space is what I just did now. A second from now, a half a second, a quarter of a second, it's literally different. My molecules have changed. The air has changed. Whether it's minuscule or not.
You never step in the same river twice.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's very philosophical, but it's true. I mean, change is constant. Mm-hmm. And the more you try to fight that or push it away, you need to embrace that change. Like it's going to happen. Do what you can to pass that baton, to be a part of it and just be that good person. Like it's literally this easy. You
have to train yourself for change. People don't understand it. We're actually already
feeling discomfort. Right?
Trained for it. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, from earlier schools to past generations. I mean, it's been handed down to us, but it's also at this point been ingrained in our DNA from generation to generation. So I agree.
I'm trying to flip it in my head that when I get uncomfortable, that it's exciting.
Yep.
You know, because it's kind of like the same, kind of like it's all up in your chest and you can feel it like that. Turn that, kind of flip it so it's exciting.
You know,
like, because if it was just the doldrum, I wouldn't be happy right now. I need to be tested.
Right.
Like,
when it's winter, right? We prepare heat, big coats. You know, seasons don't change. After winter comes spring. So we know we dress accordingly. People that prepare, we always have an umbrella. Doesn't rain every day. The preparation means you have an umbrella, right? That's how we have to look at life. We're already trained for change. We already know winter will always come after fall. Will always come before spring, summer. So we always are already prepared. Those that prepare, those that bring an umbrella, are those that pay for 401k. That's the umbrella.
Well,
right?
What about those who enjoy to just walk in the rain?
I mean, I like a good rain rock. I mean, if it's like warm out rain, not if it's like cold rain, then that shit sucks.
Yeah, in the South, it's usually warm rain days.
I think that's the importance of, no matter how much you make, of learning to have a minimalist attitude towards things. Like if something falls apart, be like, I can ride my bike there. I can walk.
Yeah.
Well, see, but
I can work it out.
I think that really,
and I'm okay. You know, like,
learning how to accept
emotional.
Well, yeah, because I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like when you're in that mentality, you get to this place where you're just like, I have enough. Like there's going to be like, I can MacGyver my way out of this. Mm-hmm. There's going to be something. So when you limit yourself and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's this and it's that, and I don't have that, and I don't have. Dude, what do you have?
Right.
What can you do? What do you? So when you, like you said, you got to train yourself to have that mentality. It's like, so once you flip that switch, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh my God, the world's falling apart. Or like, we got a snorkel, we got an apple.
Right.
Take inventory.
I made bones with less, bro.
I'm being facetious. But that's literally what it is. So I mean, that was one of the things that I taught my staff was, especially in restaurants, is on a Friday or Saturday night when all the walls are falling in, you're just like, oh my God, I can't handle this. It's just like, well, where are we at? What do we got going on? And all of a sudden they stop and they start to inventory all these different things. Dude, you just took all the focus off what you don't have and what things are going wrong to like, oh, well, I do have this and I can do it. Well, you know what? Hey, matter of fact, and all of a sudden you're just like, and you're resolving issues.
Like, calm down. We don't sell beer or food here. You sell this. And it's because it's like when you walk in through the doors, it's like you can feel that settle in on you.
Well, that was my biggest selling point to my serving staff was the simple fact is like we're not in the food and beverage industry. We're in the entertainment industry. We just happen to sell food and beverage with it.
No, I mean, it's so true though.
Yeah, we're here to set atmosphere and
it's not the quality of the food necessarily that brings me back time and time again. It's that connection.
Yeah.
It's that connection you have.
Absolutely.
Because you still got to have it, good. It's got to be quality.
The bartender talks to you. It takes that extra time. Like they know things about you. It's like, that brings you back. It's not that they serve the best beer or they have the best prices.
Quality.
It's that untangible, the intangible quality. Yeah. I think, and then, that's what a lot of us are looking for.
And that's what that's literally what I've always put the most emphasis on is because we're setting an example. Mm-hmm. So, from the time you walk in the door to the time you leave, whether it's career, life, whatever else, my job is to take care of me and be the best me I can. Mm-hmm. And in doing that, my job then as an elder with experience is to hand it off.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm not saying my way is the right way. I'm just saying this is what worked for me.
But as long as you're under my roof.
That's what I said.
The one thing I will say is, under my roof, just be respectful. I really don't have many rules. And the ones I do is just, love yourself, love everything else like that.
Well, you got to keep them simple. That was the way your folks taught you, right?
Well, yeah.
They only had a couple rules, but it's like they kind of covered everything, so to speak.
Well, to me, having those rules is like the 4 agreements. It's not something where it's like, oh, if I do this, I'm going to get in trouble. It's like, well, if I do this, bad things will happen. Maybe not for me, but that ripple from that pebble in the pond, I might have distorted or changed, and it's just like I have to be mindful of that.
Absolutely. The verbiage is different too when you talk to those who are wealthy. I was told that the language they use is only used by 5%. The other 95% use a different type of verbiage.
I believe that.
I was literally told today, I was talking about a breakup and I was told, oh, he violated the law of reciprocity. Oh, okay.
Oh, you're talking about the 12 laws now.
But I mean, this is just what was said to me.
No, because I thought it was just 7, but it's 12. There's a full,
Dude,
and that's one of them, the law of reciprocity. There is,
There's
But
people
I
out
just
there
was talking about a breakup. You know, I just was trying to talk about a breakup. He violated the law of reciprocity, so it's the verbiage is different.
And you're like, hang on
You know
one
what I
second.
But
Reciprocity.
those are universal laws.
Yeah, it is.
And like people don't realize like that is what motivates you. Even if you don't realize that's what motivated your decision, that's what motivated you. It's like, because deep inside you just go, that's just wrong. But that's why.
But
like that's the
them,
coding behind it, you know.
You can't say stuff like I can't do this. You can't say that to them. They don't like that. You can't the fact that you're saying you can't, or the fact that you're focusing
it's a
on
challenge.
what you're unable to do. They're like, your mindset is in the wrong direction. How they think, the verbiage is different. The air is a lot thinner up there.
But you have to believe to some extent that you can walk on water.
Absolutely.
You have to believe it.
Absolutely.
See, this is why my absolute favorite, like legit favorite saying of all time is Henry Ford. The paraphrase is, whether you think you can or you think you can't.
You're right.
You are
correct. Well, dude, and this is the thing that I get the most out of it is like me and my guys who I go golfing with and stuff. And it's like they take a swing and they're just like, well, I mean, it's going to be this. And I'm like, well,
don't do that.
Nope. Wrong.
Don't you ever do that.
My exact statement is, well, with that attitude, you're correct.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, oh, son of a... You said that's what you were going to do. You already talked yourself into it before you even got there.
But we train our kids. We're training.
Do our
everyone
schools
like
do
that.
it?
Yes.
Our do the programming between the TVs.
And what are we teaching them these days? What are we teaching them?
Dude, we're giving them
some of it's not educational.
Dude, none of it's educational. But we're
no, but some of it we're
habituating.
But we're not teaching humanities anymore. Like that's not.
But we're also not celebrating being human. We're putting ourselves down for being, having a dichotomy, for having the fact that we have to have alternate influences, the fact that we have to have change. It's like, oh, you're being too human about
What is it? Coca-Cola is trying to tell their employees to be less white. Have you heard that one?
I did not hear this one. Is this like a new development?
I mean, pretty much in those words.
No, this was like a year or so ago.
You heard that, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, the new thing right now is Bud Light had the blue, and I'm like, dude,
I think it's funny. I mean,
well, but see, this is
it's a sign of the times, though.
Well, no, from a marketing standpoint,
I understand it.
Well, I love the fact that they're trying to be like, hey, we're an old school company, but we're going to be progressive. That's a great example. Problem is, 90% of your
current demographic
not having that shit, bro. Dude, I commend you for taking that step, but.
That's been a meme.
However,
you might want to thought of just a little.
They
maybe
only made just enough to send to the person themselves. It was not for sale. It was just a personal gift for this person to commemorate their 365 days, and it was not for sale. For anybody else.
But I think the question from a lot of people was why.
Well, but again, that's why I said from a marketing standpoint, that was very progressive. It was very beautiful. It was a very good thing. However,
you know what we're talking about, right?
The Bud Light blue can having the transgender female on the can and marketing. That's why I was like, from a financial logistic business, it's like. I mean, that's a good example. Like you're showing it's like, hey, we accept, we understand. Whether we agree with it or not, that's not what we're talking about. Simple fact is we accept you as an individual. That's a beautiful statement and a great example. Problem is they 90% of their constituents are not of that mindset.
But even in a respectful way, you never put Harriet Tubman on a can.
Well, but dude,
you never put Albert Einstein on a can. Like, why are you why are you raising this person to a different level? I think that's what a lot of people look at. Like,
well, think about this. What happened to Aunt Jemima?
Yo, I'm pissed about that.
Yo, so Aunt Jemima, we were having this conversation before. It's like, wait. So here you're telling me that you have this proud black slave woman that made a company and is your spokesmodel and this, that, and the other, and you're not going to take her off.
Oh yeah, there we go.
You're gonna. I'm like, you know what? That to me, that's racist. The fact you're gonna be like, oh, she's a proud black slave woman. We can't have her be the spokesperson. That's racist. And nobody was upset about it except for the people that had to change it. Everybody else is like, "Why, dude? That's Aunt Jemima, baby. What are you going to get rid of Aunt Jemima for?" You can't.
Or we can't
family staple.
We can't have an Indian girl on her knees on the butter anymore, it's offensive.
Get Land O'Lakes.
So we'll just remove her entirely. So that's not offensive. Just, you don't agree with it.
Accommodate an opinion.
You don't agree with the Native American, you're just going to remove them.
But it's not the general populace opinion, and that's the problem. Same thing with like all the sports teams.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah.
You had to change like Redskins and stuff like that. Here's the deal is if you talk to, air quotes, Native Americans, which by the way, they're not Native Americans. They're the indigenous populations of this country that were here well before we ever were and stole it from them. And they would be preferred to identify as their physical tribe.
Right.
You ask any of them, they're like, we didn't, Redskin was not offensive to us. They're like, actually, we kind of thought that was kind of funny. Like, it was cool. Like, we liked it. So why do we have to change the name to the Comanches? They're like, now that we call them, that's racist.
Right.
And we didn't ask for that. Dude, there's this mindset, the woke culture or the cancel culture where they're just like, this is offensive. We're going to change it. It says 5% of you.
Who won Woman of the Year? Jenner or...
was it?
Yeah, it was given to some
I'll
trans
double
person.
check.
Yeah.
But is it Caitlyn?
That's another point.
Caitlyn Jenner won Woman of the Year.
How is this whole movement not offending half of the people?
In less than a year that she was a woman.
No, but I'm saying the actual female population. I don't mean to say that, but there really are only two.
Well, but here's the thing:
the truth, though.
In 2022, it was a male doctor wins Woman of the Year award.
Okay, now that's
try to won maybe 2020 or 19 or 20 she won. What's her name? What did we just say? Caitlyn Jenner. Yeah. Woman of the Year.
Which, but
that is the same thing. Like you're
going back to your question that you were saying, I feel though, from what I've seen, like interview wise and whatever else, women being of that maternal, typical, from a genetic standpoint, is they're supposed to be loving and nurturing and accepting and understanding and patient. It's just like, well, of course she's a woman. And it's not like they're trying to be like, oh, she's a woman, I'm going to support her for it. It's just like, no, they have beliefs and they're being, they're supporting the fact that they have an imagination and they're willing to put it out there. Like, which to me, I think
the really toxic thing is to
2015.
Make this statement that there's no differences.
2015, apparently.
You know what I mean? Is to make this blanket statement saying there's no differences between male and female. It's like, yeah, there are.
There's a huge difference, and we come with a whole set of skills.
There's biological differences.
Anybody else want to have my period, you can have it.
I mean, and I don't care how you identify. You're still genetically, biologically designed a certain way. Yeah.
Yes.
I love the fact that you just said that, because here's the deal.
I think guys should start carrying babies like seahorses.
Yeah, anybody want this morning sickness?
Most, and I think, most men, and that I also differentiate, guys are like boys. They're not quite mature, quite experienced. So men, they get it, but that's the same as a woman. So it's an adult. It's somebody who's experienced. Like you can call it this, that, whatever. It's like, we're still going to understand. But, me as a man growing up as, a teenage boy at 12, 13, 14, 15, dude, I could be in the middle of class and all of a sudden the teacher's like, I'm going to need you to go to the board. And you're just like, I'm going to need 5 minutes.
There's differences, you know what I'm saying?
But as a man, I would rather have to deal with that embarrassment of just like, sorry, my body's working with me, than be a woman and have to deal with and as much as I would love to be able to say, just like Arnold did when he was like, I'm going to carry this baby, like they did that shit. It's a movie. It's funny, but there's plenty of men out there that are like, if I had that opportunity, because me personally, as a man seeing women, I'm jealous of the fact that you all get that opportunity. But then I look at it, I'm just like, I don't want to deal with all the bullshit to get there, though. We good? Yeah, no, I'm cool. Right. I'm happy to have this, erection that comes out of nowhere and I can't explain it and deal with it. But, I'm going to deal with this instead of that, dude. So to me, women get the raw end of the deal and they don't get enough respect. Like personally, but that's just me.
I got a real concern with how it is changing the way that, like I said before, like the way that we're teaching our kids.
We're not teaching
and it's
them.
like, but that's the thing. I'm like, what I'm saying is
them to like horrible things.
These decisions you don't make when you're 16. You know what I mean? Like if you want to choose to sleep with somebody of the same sex when you're 16, that's fine. It doesn't mean you should be taking pills to try and change your genetic hormonal, like that's not a good idea.
Absolutely.
Your mind hasn't even fully developed at that point.
Right. Like, why do you have to change? If you're saying what makes you different is the way you think and the way you see the world, then let that be what makes you different. Why do you now have to come in but that's what I'm saying is our educators are now teaching our children that that's acceptable. Mm-hmm. And it's like, not even 50 years ago, I mean, you would have been shunned out of a community for thinking thoughts like that's ridiculous.
They're coming in the second grade talking about, I just woke up not feeling like a woman or not feeling like
and you're
a guy.
Fully allowed to feel that way.
And their parents are co-signing it.
Yeah, no.
But in the same sentence, we're saying the brain isn't fully developed until it's 25. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah. But
you should be focusing on just being children and enjoying life and trying to just be themselves.
Right.
Yeah. Me as a parent, one of my biggest things was to make sure I didn't stifle or diminish my child's exploration. I'm not going to censor what goes into my kid. I'm going to censor what comes out of her. I'm going to teach you like, hey, this is the situation. This is where we're at. Read the room, air quotes, read the room. When you do that, you're just taking all these things into account. And it's like, you can still be you, but just be mindful of your surroundings. Right. Like, be held accountable or responsible for your actions. Again, going back to that whole, I'm big about accountability because, again, it goes back to the pebble in the pond. Any little action I have, it could be the tiniest little pebble, and all of a sudden I can create a tsunami. It might take 25 years, but I still did that. I got to be mindful of that. I mean, time and space, because this is our construct. It's one of our greatest gifts, but it's also one of our greatest burdens because we have to be mindful. And if we're not teaching ourselves mindfulness, but we're still teaching you that there is this ability to do that, it's like knowing A plus B equals C. Well, I know what A is and I know what C is. Well, what is B? It's your accountability. I mean, we're not teaching that. We're not showing you how to get to what it is you're supposed to be. We're not setting a proper example.
What's accountability?
Dude, right? It's unfortunate, but that's a very true statement. I think a lot of people confuse accountability with fault, and it's a completely different thing. Well, yeah,
you have to be willing to say, okay, that kind of got a little effed up, and I can take credit for some of that. And I'm willing to make a positive change to try and fix it. I'm not going to say it's all my, I'm not trying to say who did what.
Right, but
I'm saying it doesn't have to be your fault, but you need to learn how to take accountability.
Correct, but that's also being positive. So if I did something that was good,
let me make the assumption that it was my fault, and we'll go from there.
But again, that's what I'm saying. There's no such thing to me at that point as fault. Accountability is just understanding that your actions have reactions, and you just have to be mindful of that. Because it could be good, but it could also be bad. You just have to realize if I do this, there will be an outcome. And you just have
I just
to be
got that
mindful.
Take nothing personal, how that works both ways.
That's why I love the 4 agreements, though. I mean, I the first time
I haven't read it yet. He just keeps telling me and telling me.
It's a small book.
Yeah, I know.
I've read the
It's at 5 below.
Well, there's the full version. That's the abridged,
10, 15
probably,
below.
I think, because you take what is, I think, like a 80 some odd or 90 some odd page book, and you turn it into it was 35. They did I literally got it. It was like this freaking big. It was 4 by 4 inch square, and it was just this tiny little
Yeah, that's the one that she's talking about it.
But it's the abridged one, and it's
like a pocket Bible.
Pertinent. Yeah, but but it still promotes. So while it doesn't give you a lot more, examples to support it, it still gets you the, the
it's like a nice little reminder. That's all.
Well, so
it's like the poem Footprints,
I read
just a nice little reminder.
I read the entire full book and learned so much from it that I bought the little truncated book, and then I would hand it to my staff. I'm like, here, you need to read this. And they're just like, I've already read this. Or I don't give a crap. I'm going to pay you to read this book, and then we're going to talk about it later because I'm trying to teach you accountability. I'm trying to open your mind. I'm setting an example, so much so that I'm going to tell you to do this, and I'm going to give you money.
But what are you handing me? Because if it says, have you been saved on the front, I'm just going to pass.
Heard the good word. Bro, I'm aware of who this. I'm down with the Jesus. We're cool. We're good here. But to me, because the 4 agreements it's a way of life.
Absolutely,
it's a mentality. That's why it's not rules. It's not commandments. It's not you have to. It's you should probably be somewhere in this realm. It's just you can agree to this. Cool.
Well, I think that's what's missing. If you would say and one reason why I'm not a huge fan of religion per se is that there's no philosophy.
Organized.
There's no philosophy in religion.
and not organized.
Like philosophy is a personal relationship that you take with yourself and your relationship with God, whatever name you call them. But
that's why I said
a lot
organized.
of religion cuts that philosophy out.
Because an ism, a belief system, supports. So an ism is good. Religion, that's propaganda. That's a single, one-sided, this is where we're at and this is where we're going.
I don't need that. And I've never wanted somebody else to determine what it is that I'm going to read into something. Like, and that's what always bothered me. It's like, well, no, this is how it is. And I'm like, that's not what I got from that at all. You're kind of missing the whole point. All right.
I think you missed the point of that story.
Yeah, exactly. No, and that's one of my points, like forever. It's like, coming from a background of Christianity, it's like everybody took that story, the story of Christ, and put it on a pedestal and said, this man lived and died for your sins and all this other stuff. But like the thing that I think hinders the population is the thought that, well, it doesn't really matter what I do, because as long as I can agree that this man lived and died for my sins, it doesn't really matter what I do. I can pass all that on. And it's like, I think that takes some of dude, you kind of play a part in this. Like, this is your responsibility to step up. And it's not for me. It's for we, like it's not for you or for me. It's, and I think one of my big issues with the Christianity thing is that the pass the buck.
So that's why I'm like, I'm not big in religion, but I do like an ism. One of my favorites is, the Vulcan. I'm going to be a nerd for a second, but the Vulcan idea is it's not what's good for some or a few. It's what's best for all. Even if that means me as a single component is best to be removed from all of what society is. If that's best for all of us, let me know. I'm out. I'll be over there if you need me. But if we're raised on that mentality where you have to be accountable, where your actions are reactions, like where all things do intertwine because we're aware of it, then at the end of the day, it was just like, yo, bro, sorry to tell you, you're effing up and you got to bounce. It's just
that's that accountability thing though. Like if everybody looked at like, I can be accountable for my own actions, like there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a huge stretch. But the thing is, and it's like, well, I don't know if I'm really willing to go out on a limb and do that and put myself out there. But look, if everybody actually did that, chose a day and all did it on the same day, you know what could happen? If everybody was like, look, I effed up the past 12 months, I could step up a little bit.
Self-accountability day.
Even on my worst day, I could still be doing better than I'm doing now. But if everybody did that on the same day, we could move mountains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what vision was in your head when you started chuckling? Because I feel like there was something.
Accountability day, because that'd be a good day. I'm thinking of everybody that I probably said that to in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, see, but dude, this is one of the things that I really enjoy with what we do, because we're so raw, organic, and kind of just trying to be tuned in to everything that's going on around us. That
now,
yeah, dude, all of a sudden when we start having these conversations, all of a sudden there's like a story or a scenario, or it's just like, dude, I was just talking to somebody about that earlier. Oh my god!
Right,
when you're in that flow, it amazes me how many of those, air quotes, coincidences happen.
Right.
But that's the timeline. That's how things work. I mean, that's why I love the idea of space and time and multiverse, because it's like there is only any and all possibilities and perceptions that coexist at the same time. It's where are you at within all of that, and how do you feel about it?
Multipass?
No, Lilu.
Bada boom.
Big bada boom. Yes, big bada boom. That's. I do love me some Bruce Willis.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Dude, you Tricky's in that. Gary Oldman. It's a phenomenal cast.
Yeah, it was a great cast.
Yeah, Chris Tucker's in it. Yeah, Fifth Element.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yeah, but with the freaking Zeus.
Which I know we're at the end, but
what the hell's his name?
I keep wanting to ask you about your earrings.
Oh yeah,
the Ankh. And I keep wanting to ask, like, is there a real Egyptian fan, like crazy?
No, I'm just
theology and the way to.
So the Ankh symbolizes male and female. So this actually symbolizes
balance. It's like the yin and yang, and yeah.
So I'm just real in tune with my history, You know what I mean? Where I came from, my heritage, and
like your personal. So not even just like how you were brought up, but your literal lineage and everything. So the whole combination.
And just in love with that.
As you should be.
So everywhere I can show it, I do.
But anytime I see that, of course I go Thoth. And I'm thinking Anunnaki these days. That like, do you have that like interest in like all? Because like we're into like the pre-Diluvian societies and all that crazy like ancient technology like fascinates me. And I think we've lost a lot of our like. I think as a human race, we're built as antennas. We're supposed to have this kinetic mental understanding of each other that we've lost throughout the years.
Do you know who Billy Carson is?
I do.
Yeah, Forbidden Knowledge. That dude is so smart.
I want to talk to him.
Dude, we're working on getting.
I want to have him on.
He has read so much knowledge,
but he's energetic about it. Though, like he's just so like
But he's also real. So he's not even just like passionate. He's just like, I'm a dude from the street that's educated, and this is who I am. And I'm just like, I can respect that, bro.
Yep.
I mean, I get a sense of hustle from him too. But I can respect it and like.
Can't I do?
Yeah, no, that's
I can't. I do.
I do respect that. I do.
Yeah, dude.
But the energy alone.
Which by the way.
Yeah, I know. As
always. Yeah. So the running gag with us, besides the other 30,000 jokes with us, is every time once we're in that spot, it's like, oh my god, it's just like, hey guys, time to go. Sorry. We'll try to come back to this later, but we never do because we don't know when that conversation is going to happen because we don't push it, we don't force it. Like it is what it is.
Right.
But if it's meant to happen, it'll happen again.
It do what it do, baby.
I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby.
That was one of his old phrases, which we got a t-shirt.
It's not mine. I mean, I just contracted it out. I took a hold of that because I liked it.
But so as we wrap this up, please again spell, because we're gonna spell our own too. So spell all your stuff. Emails. Where to find you. All of it.
All right, so you guys can find me on everything Markeeta Speaks in regards to public speaking, coaching. You guys need help with mastering yourself because self-discipline is imperative. If you're not actually disciplining yourself, then you really need to pay attention to who is. I'm quite sure it'll probably be social media or something negative disciplining you. So if you're looking for some good structure, I'm the girl that you want to come to. So Markeeta Speaks. Remember that. MarkeetaSpeaks.com, MarkeetaSpeaks@gmail.com, and then Markeeta Speaks on all things social media.
I don't know where I'm going to insert.
It's going to be up here, over here somewhere.
Yeah, I'll find it where it looks the best in there. Yeah, I will. I will get the appropriate information to the right people, and we will put you on blast. So yeah, I give out some good messages, some good motivational, inspirational messages. You need your mindset shifted. I got you. You said earlier, because and I think that's one of the bigger things is, besides the fact that we speak with like 75 or 80% body language and the rest is actual words. To me, your vernacular is very important. We have so many different words that it's like the right word at the right time means the exact thing that it's supposed to. And being mindful of that makes a massive difference. So I'm like, I get you. Right. That's awesome. But MarkeetaSpeaks.com. We're going to throw all that good stuff in there, which another .com, if we could. RoundGuysBrewery.com. Yeah, they were the unofficial. Now they are the official. They are amazing. We don't drink them all the time, but we do all the time.
I don't drink often, but when I do,
dude, that is I think that's a truer statement. Yeah, I don't drink often, but when I do, it's typically Round Guys, man. They're well-rounded, full flavored. They care about their community so much so that they have seltzers and a soda. I mean, I love the backstory on that, man. Round Guys does musical stuff. They do stuff with like groups and things. They've made beers for other groups. And this one group came to them and said, hey, we don't really party like that, but we still kind of, we want to get down. They're like, could you make us something? We're like, And we'll make you a soda, bro. Done. And we did it with real fruit juice and everything else. Like that's the thing I love about Round Guys is they actually care. But yeah, roundguysbrewery.com, beers, seltzers, sodas will deliver. Check them out. There will be QR codes pretty much guaranteed. Going to negate the shipping. It is awesome. But yeah, they are dope.
She's enjoying one right now.
She's got the froggy soda. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, I was drinking the seltzer earlier. Now I'm on Johnson's underwear, which, is going on.
That's me.
Yeah, but, I'm out of beer, so it's time to go anyways. But if you want to reach all three of us, as always, the new spot is The Humans. Yeah, TheHumans at itystudios.com. Yeah, as well as our individuals, Mr. Gemini.
GEMINI at itystudios.com. Bleep, blurp, bleep.
Yeah, and Philly D, PHI, double LY at itystudios.com.
And then for me, Miss JD, MISSJD at itystudios.com.
Yeah. And fam, absolutely appreciate you. Please reach out, continue the conversation. Markeeta, thank you so much. This has been an absolute blast. Your ladies have been amazing. Yep. El Chapo is the dopest.
The kids in the background. It's my girls, guys.
Yeah. And
they did good.
They did
for
amazing.
2 hours.
Yeah.
They did good.
Granted, it feed them pretty well. So
better than mine would have. Mine would have been.
Ride home, they're going to be asleep.
So I said, give them 10 minutes. They're going to be out. But family, as always, this is, Philly D.
Mr. Gemini.
Clickety clack a fact checker, Miss JD.
Special guest.
Markeeta speaks.
I love the passion. But
as always.
Yeah, fam, be good to yourself. Be good to everything else.
Much love.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.